Hey y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity and welcome to a first impressions video. I just got my Menagerie Cosmetics Killer Purr Palette in the mail. I've already put up swatches. I'll go ahead and link that up here if you want to see eye swatches. I swatched all of these eyeshadows on my eyes 2 different ways. I got that up at like the day it came in Saturday. I swatched them and uploaded it Sunday night, but I haven't got a chance to actually like create a look with this. And I've been watching a lot of first impressions. Annette, AmyLovesMakeup, and BeautBean have all posted their first impressions using this palette. I'll have their videos linked down below if you want to see some other opinions, but I am so curious to get into this, and I did do a poll on my Instagram saying, hey, do you just want eye swatches or would you also like a first impressions if I can manage that? And overwhelmingly, I think it was like 70% said if you can do both first impressions and eye swatches, that'd be great. So that's what we're going to be doing today because I want to play with this on my eyes and I have a little bit of time, a little bit of quiet time. Can't promise it'll stay, but I figured we could sit down together and could just do my eye makeup with you guys and see how these eyeshadows perform. I definitely feel like there's a bit of a formula change. Amy mentioned this, and not in a bad way necessarily. That's why I'm excited to get it on my eyes and see what it kind of means when you're actually using it to create looks. But when I did my eye swatches, I did notice that they don't have as much powder kick-up and they're not as crazy intensely pigmented as her previous palettes. But anyway, enough chatter. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to prime my eyes and then we'll get going. Okay, so I just primed my eyes with the Milani primer and then used the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer as my eyeshadow base. But I still don't know what I want to do. I think I'm definitely going to go an all matte look with just this shimmer in for my inner corner, but there's just so many beautiful colors. I just struggle back and forth. I think I want to put Drought, this shade, mostly all over my lid. That shade just looks so pretty, and that used as an inner corner highlight and it was stunning. But I also like the Hunt and the Bob. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. B-A-O-B-O-B. But Watering Hole is also really pretty. I feel like Watering Hole is more of like her typical formula, very pigmented and nice. So I kind of want to play with the other shades. What should I do? I'm going to start with a touch of Cub. Can I point to the right one? And put it in my crease as I continue to think. It definitely doesn't have the same, like I said, when you touch, usually like for Whalesong, when you would go in and touch, you would have intense amount of kick up, whereas this is more of just like a typical pigmented eyeshadow in that you kind of have to stab at it and then you will see the usual kick up that you get from really pigmented eyeshadows. So just something to note. That's definitely when I was doing my eye swatches as I was going along, I was like, I don't have to be as careful as a Whalesong. And now maybe I was more critical because I have been using the Whalesong this past month, so it's very fresh in my mind. And oh my gosh, with the Whalesong palette, like I tap it in there and I still get so much kick up. Like you have to be so gentle if you don't want to have a ton of crazy pigment. You really need to go in with a super light hand and you pick up so much color. So that's kind of like what's fresh in my mind when I think of Menagerie's formula. So that's just something I definitely did notice when I was doing eye swatches of this palette. But anyway, that went on super easy. You guys saw, no complaints there. I'm going to take Boa Bob, the green. I really like that shade. I'm going to take that on this Stilazzi L210 brush. I mentioned this in a brush I use all the time. It's clean, so hence I'm using it. I'm going to pack that on my outer corner. I still don't know the look. I think I am just going to go, I really want to use that orange shade. I'm just not sure if I should just stick that in my crease or what. I think I might, but I'm doing this for now. I think I might try to do a cut crease all matte look. I feel like those can be a little tricky, so I'm kind of hesitant to try that. I like how that's looking, and I think I'm just going to leave it on there. This side looks a little more intense, but maybe I just packed it on a little bit harder. But I'm going to pack it on there. I think I'm just going to leave that for now, and I'm going to take a really tiny, let's start with this E36 brush. I'm going to take that orange shade, the Hunt, and I'm going to put that, blend that up into, like directly into my crease and mesh these 2 shades together. Still have no idea what I'm doing. I'm seriously just playing. But I love the tones in this palette. You know, there's some, I mean, even, well, I feel like her Whalesong palette is very much a harmonious palette. Whatever you pick is going to look great, but you know, her Feral palette is a little bit trickier. Like there's some palettes, you know, I'm thinking of Juvia's Place too, that, you know, you have to go in with a game plan. Mama. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I don't know where I left off. But I think I was just saying that, you know, some color stories, especially when it comes to more vibrant and unique brands or just palettes, you know, they all have a color story and they all can work together if it's like a well done palette, but sometimes they're just a little bit more tricky and they take more thought or whatnot, or you have to be a little bit more careful of the colors you put together within the palette. So my point in saying that is because I feel like this palette is just so easy. Like no matter what I pick from here and put on my eyes, I feel like everything will just go together so effortlessly and look so beautiful, and you can get a super natural look or you can amp it up and get more of a unique look. I like how that looks, and I just took a bit of that green and I'm going to tap that in. I do want to try to compare the watering hole shade in here to the, I think it's in the Feral palette, there's a blue like that, I believe. I don't know, when I saw that shade I was just like, oh, that kind of reminds me of that shade, so I want to compare it and just see if they're close or whatever. They could be totally apart and my memory is just misserving me at the moment, but I'm gonna do that at the end if I can remember. Okay, so now I'm just gonna flip it over to the other side of this brush. I really need to pick up and just buy a couple more of these. I've been meaning to. I'm just gonna put a little bit of that yellow here just to act as a blend diffuse. I don't know, it's something I like to do sometimes. Going back to the green, just flipping it back over, meshing the two. They're going on nicely. I think Amy described it as a thinner formula, which I can agree with. I feel like it, you know, you can take more time and build it up and get it. It's not that it's a bad formula. I wouldn't at all say that I think this is bad, but I definitely feel like it's a bit of a thinner formula. And like I said, I don't know if that's just because the colors are so neutral. It's just a byproduct of having, you know, not such crazy pigmented colors like, you know, this neon orange or neon green and stuff like that that are just so wabam. These are a lot more softer, so therefore they just take a little bit more building. But you definitely do have more time to kind of play around, but I can't say I'm mad at it because it makes it easy to work with. You know, you can take your time building. You don't have to be as scared of like, oh shoot, now I got to spend 5 minutes blending this out. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this Catrice Precision HD Liquid Coverage Precision Concealer and use this to do my cut crease. Alright, I think that's good. I just put this on and then I used this F70 brush to tap it out because with a matte cut crease, you really don't want there to be excess product sticking in funky areas. You want it all kind of patted out and very smooth because the matte will definitely show if you have any areas that aren't smooth. I'm going to use this E54 brush and I'm going to take that beautiful shade Drought. It's such an interesting color because it looks so light and like it would be so difficult to like show up because it's so pastel, but it looked gorgeous on Annette. Alright, I'm just going to add a touch of that orange back in here as the diffuser between the two. And then flipping it over to the green and doing the same thing. So just kind of going back and forth. Like that. I like that really sharp cut. Not the best shape to my cut crease, but it's what I can do. I'm going to go I'm going to go oversee that and then I'll do the other eye and I will be right back. Okay, hey, I'm back. A little bit different, yet still not complete. It ended up being a little loud here, so I just started to do my foundation, but the kids are just walked off to play quietly together in the other room, so I want to jump on here and finish my eyes. I did finish, or do this eye. I like how this one turned out, like the shape of it, more than this eye, but whatever, and put on a liner, did my foundation, contour, powder, stuff like that. I still need to do highlight, but since they're playing quietly, I wanted to finish up. Since I have my concealer and powder all done, I can at least finish up under my eyes and do that, and then that way if things get crazy, once we're done here, all I have left to do is finish up the rest of my makeup and take the close-up shots. So anyway, I'm going to put a little bit of this Sleek Intense Waterline, just a black, because I'm boring like that. I just like my black. I'm going to put a little bit of the green into the outer corner and then blend it with the Hunt, and maybe just put a little bit of the Drought right underneath, oops, up in this area to kind of just round it out. Ooh, excuse me, my phone is going off. So just like that. Oh, I was gonna let you guys know the fallout was very minimal on this, which is kind of my experience with Menageries. I will say though that I'm someone who, okay phone, I'm someone who knows to go in with a light hand, so I'm usually typically pretty careful, and even the Whalesong palette, while it is pretty crazy with the fallout, I just go in really lightly, and you know, I still get fallout, but it's minimal. But anyway, I figured I would just show you. This is the only stuff I cleaned up, and honestly half of that is probably just the concealer that I cleaned up and shape it, you know, kind of sharpened the outer corner. But I figured I'll let you guys know that if you were curious. I think the most fallout I had was when I packed the matte Drought shade onto my lid, which is to be expected because I was packing a matte and not doing so much of, you know, just the light blending and building. So yeah. I will say while I'm working on this, since I'm not using the shimmers, I do think both of the shimmers are going to be ones that I just don't care to use. The lightest shimmer in here, which I'm going to use in a minute as my inner corner, I definitely know I don't like that formula. Something I noticed with Menagerie Cosmetics shimmers, and I'm going to touch on it when I do my review of the Whalesong palette coming later this week, but she changes up her formula for the shimmers depending on the shimmers, because I feel like within that one palette there's 2, maybe even 3, I'll have to go back and swatch and remind myself, but there's definitely 2 different types of shimmer formulas, and this one here specifically is the type of shimmer formula that I don't like, just because it's so, like, I think you can even see maybe in the pan, let me try. It's like so crumbly and soft. Like to stick a brush in there, I just feel like it'll just, you can easily make a crater in there, and just has all this crumbliness. And then with those type of shadows, I just noticed that they're very sheer and hard to build up. And if you watched my swatches, you know, my eye swatches of this palette, the Killer Purr palette, then you saw that like I put this on with that shadow on with a brush. There was like nothing to see, and I had to pack it on with my finger to really see anything. So that's definitely something I've noticed, is that she has different types of formulas, and Prowl is just not one of my favorites. Lioness is one that I like more so, but it is on the verge of being that type, you know, the same as Prowl. But Lioness is one that's just easier to work with, shows up, can show up relatively nicely with a brush, but it's also that like dark bronzy color that I just don't care to wear personally. I don't know, if I'm wearing a bronze, I like it to be nice, vibrant, and light. And I think that's my biggest critique, but I feel like it was pretty much everyone's biggest critique when this palette first came out, is that the 2 shimmers, the only 2 shimmers in the palette, kind of felt repetitive. I mean, they are different, but they're just very close. So anyway, that went on really nicely. Let me do my inner corner. Let's try Prowl and hope I don't make a mess everywhere. This shade would probably be a lot easier if you did like spray your brush or something, but for me, my eyes are so sensitive, I really don't like spraying anything that goes on my inner corner because it just tends to make my eyes water. So I'm just going to be very careful and take my time to pack this on. So like it's going on, but I think you like can see what I mean. It's just so sheer and hard to see. I don't know. It's just not, it's not my favorite. It's too much work of a metallic for me to bother with, basically, I guess you could say. I just like there to be more color and shine to my metallics. I mean, it's definitely there, But I don't know. I'm going to go in with Drought and kind of go over that. Maybe that'll help the sparkle from Prowl show up better. If I have a really light base underneath it, I should have done this first, but oops. Now it just looks unblended. Okay, so I put that down. Let me go back with Prowl and try to get that to show up. And with this shade, I think it would be easiest to use with your finger, but like I can't use that in my inner corner with the finger, and I don't prefer to use my finger and stuff like that, so that's why, I don't know, it's just for me. Yes, you could use a finger, but I'm not going to. Okay, I think I'm done. Definitely doesn't give much of a shine in the inner corner. I mean, it's a little bit. It's fine. I'll be fine with this for today. But yeah, that's definitely, for me, the duds in this palette are definitely the shimmers. I just don't foresee myself getting much use out of. But I've said in the past that Menagerie Cosmetics shimmers aren't my favorite. I just don't, I don't know. They transfer a lot. It's kind of hard to get them, even with glitter glue, not to transfer up into my crease. They're gorgeous, and I don't mind using them, and there's definitely some shades that I love more than others, but I don't know, they're just not my favorite, and kind of what has my heart within the Menagerie Cosmetics eyeshadows is her mattes. Like, she just does mattes so nicely. Yeah, I'm just going to finish up the rest of my makeup, and then we'll close out this video, so BRB. Alright, so here we are. This is the completed look. If you are curious, I have the L'Oreal, oh, what are these called? These little nice, I really like these liquid lipsticks. They're super fab. In Eye Explorer 428. It's still drying down a bit because I'm pretty sure it dries down matte, though it has been a while since I have worn these. But anyway, love the color, thought it went. But yeah, here's the completed look. Let me know what you guys think. I know I only used, what, 3, 4 colors if you count the Prowl, but I don't know, I'm not crazy about that. But I used 4. I used Drought, Cub, The Hunt, and Bebo. But yeah, so I'm sorry I didn't use more colors. Like I said, I am going to have Annette's channel, BeautBean, and AmyLovesMakeup. All their videos linked down below where they did a first impressions on this, and we all basically did different, like vastly different looks. So I feel like that can round out your thoughts on this palette and round out you getting to see these shadows applied to your eyes. But oh yeah, I was going to, is it this? Okay, no, my memory is just really, really bad. Are we at all surprised? But Watering Hole, I felt like might look like the shade in the Feral palette called Harmonia. But as you can see, no, one's a lot darker than the other. That's just kind of what it reminded me, obviously, before looking at it. So anyway, yeah, to wrap it up, I don't think I'm going to get any kind of other pictures. I feel like, especially with the matte look, it stays pretty darn well unless it's a terrible quality, and I've already tried 2 of our other palettes, so I know they don't move anywhere. I can leave a wear test down below if you want. I am trying to edit this and upload it in the same day, so I can just let you know the wear test whenever the video goes live, let you know if anything drastic happened or changed. But overall, I still think, even if there's a little bit of a formula change, it might just be for the better, because like I said, when I was using this, I really didn't have to worry as much about having kick up. I'm going to get more into the different formulas of her shimmers in this palette, because I feel like there were definitely at least 2, if not 3 different types of formulas in there, and I preferred one over the other. But I can already tell you this palette, you know, these 2 shimmers are the ones I don't care for. I absolutely love the artwork. I'm so happy to have it. But yeah, that is going to be my first impressions for this palette. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it informative. I hear my kids calling, so I'm going to wrap it up here. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.